I grew up probably like you did when, there was no sunscreen. When we went to the beach, Mom would literally save pennies to buy Coppertone, which was like pouring milk on you because as soon as you got wet, it was gone. And I'm a towhead, blonde hair, hazel eyes, white skin. My godfather used to tease me that I'd get sunburned. I was the only person he knew that could get sunburned and the next day be whiter than I was the day before, because I never tan. And so, I grew up on a farm. We were always sunburned and blistered and running around, and you went to the beach and, it just was what it was. So
there was no kind of special attention that you were giving that?
No, because I don't think the family really understood all of that. I mean, my mother knew that her aunts and uncles on her father's side had melanoma, and certainly her father was diagnosed like in January, and 3 months later he was dead. So it was there, but I don't think anybody really thought about a genetic connection. Most cancers, you don't feel sick. With melanoma, you don't feel sick unless it's metastasized to your liver or your stomach, but you don't feel sick. So when you find out you're diagnosed with it, you go, but I'm not sick. Well, I mean, after you get the diagnosis, it's like being hit in the stomach with a, 20-pound weight. You just, all of a sudden, you just go into automatic and you do whatever the doctors tell you to do. And I don't regret anything that I did, but knowing that, if I tell people now, get a second opinion. Don't assume that there's only one track that you can take, If you wait one more day, it's not going to endanger you any more than if you did it yesterday. So take a breath, look at what's available, do some research, don't just do the quickest, what you think is going to be the quickest, easiest version, because it might not be the best treatment option. Melanoma is, skin cancer is bad, but melanoma is a very sneaky, slimy, nasty cancer. When your body creates cancer cells, and like most people, I think, when I thought people had cancer, the type of cancer was determined by where it was located. And that's not true. Cancer cells are different. So you can have breast cell cancer, or breast cancer cells, I'll get it right, you can edit all that out. Breast cancer cells show up in your intestines, and them not show up in your breasts. So it's not a matter of where it's located, it's what kinds of cancer cells are they. But melanoma cells are the only type of cancer that can regenerate, that every cell can regenerate. There are certain breast cancer cells and prostate cells and lung cancer cells that they cannot reproduce. They go so far and they die, but every melanoma cell can reproduce. And if you're a Harry Potter fan, they also, I say, carry an invisibility cloak. So when anything foreign or any cancer cell develops, the body's response is that your lymph nodes send out these T cells, and their job is to go out and grab the intruder, the cancer cells, bring it back to the lymph node and eat it up and destroy it. And then it goes out in the lymph waste. Melanoma cells have this invisibility cloak, and the T cells can't see it. So the melanoma cells can go through the lymph system unnoticed and then out into the rest of your body. So people say, well, did you do chemo? Well, there isn't chemo unless it's metastasized. Until it's formed a tumor in your liver or in your head or on your spine or in your lung, what are you going to attack? Because you don't know where it is. Yes. There is no cure for melanoma. The doctors will say, well, if you go 7 years, we consider you cured. I have met too many people that have gone 14 years and then had a recurrence. Stage 1 people that have gone that, stage 1, you're good to go, it'll never come back, and have had recurrences 7 years later, 5 years later. I volunteer with the Melanoma Research Foundation and have done some volunteer training with them, and met this wonderful woman who was a stage 1, which is, we're just gonna shave it right off. There's no lymph node involvement, it's not deep, it's just on the surface of the skin. And hers came back with a vengeance and attacked her brain or lungs. I mean, so you can't assume that just because you're stage 1 that it's gone. On the other hand, you could be stage 3B or 3A and it never recurs. So you just, in talking to my oncologist at Hopkins, because I asked him, I said, what, it's been 7 years, anything new on the market here that, that I could do? And he said, there's really nothing new for 1, 2, or 3, but there have been so many great things that have happened for stage 4. He said, I think in your lifetime you will see a cure, or at least a way to, to stop stage 4. That, if it gets to that point, that there will be therapies that you could be cured.